G'day fellow adventurers, Darren from Adventure Primal. In this video I'm going to record my installation of these reverse lights, hoping that I can improve your boating, fishing and four-wheel driving adventures. I do a bit of beach fishing and reversing of the boat down the boat ramp at night time, so the standard reverse lights aren't working, so I'm going to install these bad boys. Probably going to put them about this position, one this side, probably one over here as well, facing out, so when I have a boat on the tow bar I've got some lights on either side of that. Let's have a look at the gear. This is a light kit from King's. That's the four-wheel drive Supacentre. So the kit comes with the two lights and mounting, plus this driving lights harness. All ready to go basically. So we've got to install this, will plug into these parts. We've got some adapters to use, some relays. It's basically almost plug and play. This is going to be the switch that'll be up in the dashboard area to turn on the reverse lights, or to actually activate it rather than turn them on. The lights will turn on when the car goes into reverse, and I'll show you how I've done that later. So let's get to the installation. Oh, hang on one bit. I'm going to utilize my battery back here rather than in the front of the car, so I've got this dual battery setup. This will be where I'll source the power for the lights rather than having to run all the way up to the front of the car. First thing I'm going to do is try and get this loom into the battery area and under the car, ready for the back. I've already chosen these spots for the lights, so the hardest bit will be getting this loom, the wiring, down to that position. So task one, wire loom in position. Just a quick rundown. I've laid out the wiring harness. I can already see that I'm going to have trouble reaching the dash area, usually connecting it to the battery up this end. So there's probably going to be some extensions required there, but that's alright because I had to probably cut the wires to feed it through the chassis and up into the dashboard area anyway, so that's okay. So bit of modification down that end. Also we've got the power terminal here. They'll go to the battery. That's the bit I'm going to feed up somehow. Probably need to cut that as well by the looks of it. And then we've got two lights, so they'll plug in there later on, and this will be where I cut into the reverse light power for the switching. So again, I'll show you how to do that later on, but as I said, the first task is to get this power up to the battery area. Alright, first thing I've done is removed my tail light. This will give me access to holes I've made to get into the back area, and it will also be the area where I feed the wires up through the bottom to get into this spot. So that's the power cables. I've also already teed into the reverse light line, and here's that clip that I was showing you. The harness goes in. I did that previously when I was installing this reverse camera, which I also got from the four-wheel drive Supacentre. So these lights will obviously help this at night time a lot. It's pretty hard to see. So yeah, when I did that install, I already cut into the line ready for these reverse lights. Alright, so I'm just going to cut a little bit below this area, about there, so I can feed it through that little hole into the back, and then resolder it up again. Okay, so now I've fed that through where I cut it through into the back. I'm going to solder these wires back on. wires joined, ready for connection to the battery up in here. We'll do that later. Okay, so I've fed up the cable, the wiring part for connection into the reverse lights line for the relay sense, and I'll just plug that in like so. Obviously when the car goes into reverse, it'll pick up a voltage change here and click on the lights, or act as a switch for the lights. So I'm going to install the lights now, as I said, probably about this position, one that way, one facing out this way. So first let's mount these. We'll take this off and then start mounting these lights. So this side is ready to go, nicely drilled. This one is this one has a little bit more of a trick to it, but hopefully I can use that gap there and feed it through the back this time. So it'll be mounting somewhere there. Both holes now drilled. Going to put the plastic part back on and drill a hole back up and mount those the mounting brackets. Okay, so I've got one in position. She's all locked down, ready to connect later. One thing, I haven't done the second one yet. One thing I wanted to say was you probably need to just sort of get your positioning right before doing up this bottom bolt. It's very hard to get to these little bolts at the back once it's in position. That's for my situation anyway. So I'm going to tighten up the back ones and then drop it into position, drop it in the hole and tighten it up through the bottom. Alright, so there we go, lights in position. It's now time to get under the car and do the connections and run the wiring up into the front of the car. Alright, so I've run everything under the car, so I'm up to this bit, extending. So I'm going to cut that off now, and then I've got some extension wire. I've pulled the trim off, and my car has hole access through there down into underneath of the chassis area underneath. So I've got a wire down and I'll join those two for extension and come up here and across to the dash area where the switch will go. I've got the cabling up to the driver section under the dashboard there, so the next step is to take this thing off, which is pretty easy with the Navara. Run the cable up and put the switch into the position. Almost done, just a little bit more soldering work to do. Okay, soldering has been completed. All we've got to do now is put the dash back together and give it a test. Turn the ignition on. I've got the switch off at the moment. Put it in reverse. Now I'll go to the back. Check the lights. Yeah, reverse lights are on, but new reverse lights aren't on. Okay. Turn on the switch. We've got some red button going on. Red LED is on. That's looking good. Come back. Lights are still on, and we've got our new reversing lights. Go back here. Out of reverse. We should have everything still on. No reverse lights and no new lights. So we're all good. Just got to clean up the wiring with some cable ties and it's all done. Tuck away time. It's a successful mission today. All right, well that's it. I'm happy with that one. It's looking good. It's all working. So all I have to do now is test it at night time. Maybe adjust these left and right just to see where I want that throw going. But yeah, can't do that until night time. But looking good so far. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, obviously comment in the comment section down the bottom, or ask me in the comment section and I'll try and answer it for you. Till next time, see you then. adventurers. So hold on, I thought I'd show you how bright these reversing lights are. Very bright. Be able to land planes here now. So very good brightness. Perfect for beach fishing and reversing the boat at night time down the ramp. Very happy with that move. Crikey, they're bright.